The Atlanta child murders were a series of gruesome crimes that began in the summer of 1979. The first victim was Edward Hope Smith, a 14-year-old boy whose body was found in a wooded area near his home. Over the next 2 years, the killer struck again and again, targeting young African American boys and girls from the Atlanta area. As the number of victims grew, the police response became more and more intense. They set up roadblocks, conducted countless interviews and searches, and even sent divers into the Chattahoochee River to search for bodies. Despite the massive investigation, the killer remained elusive. The city was consumed by fear, with parents keeping their children indoors and many people refusing to go out at night. Some even armed themselves and patrolled their neighborhoods, hoping to catch the killer. The breakthrough in the case came in May 1981 when a police surveillance team spotted Wayne Williams throwing something off a bridge into the Chattahoochee River. When they stopped him, they found fibers on his clothing that matched fibers found on several of the victims. Although Williams was only charged with 2 of the murders, the prosecution claimed that he was responsible for all of them. They argued that the fibers, as well as witness testimony and other evidence, showed that Williams was the serial killer. The trial was a media sensation, with people all over the country following the proceedings. Williams maintained his innocence throughout, but he was found guilty and sentenced to life in prison. However, even after the trial, many people had doubts about Williams' guilt. Some pointed to the fact that some of the victims were found in areas that would have been difficult for Williams to reach without a car. Others argued that the police were under intense pressure to solve the case and may have rushed to judgment. The controversy surrounding the case continued for decades, with many people calling for a new investigation. In 2019, the Atlanta mayor's office announced that they would be reopening the case and retesting evidence using modern technology. Despite the passage of time, the Atlanta child murders remain a haunting and tragic chapter in American history. The victims were all young, innocent people whose lives were cut short by a brutal killer. Their families were left to mourn their losses and wonder why their loved ones had been taken from them. And while Wayne Williams was convicted of 2 of the murders, the question of whether he was responsible for all of them remains unanswered. The legacy of the Atlanta child murders is one of fear, suspicion, and unsolved mysteries.